None of that. Okay. Welcome back to another episode of the A-Lister Show. On the A-Lister Show, we bring you entrepreneurs, movers and shakers, people doing interesting things, and let them tell their stories. And today, we have another amazing guest. We got Mike Kimbrough that scaled his e-commerce business to $1 million in the first year, and now he helps other people do the exact same thing. I'm super excited to dive into his story, find out how at one point he was homeless and then got to the $1 million mark. So a lot of cool stories. Looking forward to getting into it. Mike, how you doing, brother?
What's going on? How you feeling, man?
Oh, man. So glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Me too, man.
How's San Diego for you? Treating you okay?
San Diego is beautiful. It's just hilly. Just way too hilly, man.
Hilly?
You got to drive. You got to drive safe, man. It's like I'm in a Turo car. You know what I mean? So I'm hitting it fast, and then all of a sudden a curve come up. I'm like, oh shit, like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm finna tear this shit up. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I gotta be
because
careful,
we don't got no money for the streets out here. They always just like the streets are a mess out here.
Right.
Nah, what kind of Turo car did you get?
I got a Tesla. I think it's the X. It's the Y. No, it's the Y model.
Yeah.
And them things is fast, man.
Is that your first time in a Tesla?
No, I've been in them before, but this one was kind of tricky. Like they don't want to open the door for me. You know what I mean? Don't want to let me connect to to the Bluetooth. I'm like, man, this thing is like got his own little bougie mind or something, man.
Yeah.
It's crazy, but
No, the
cool.
Tesla's where it's at. Those are quick little things, I know.
Man.
And people don't like them. They think that's whatever, but they're fun. They're so much fun to drive.
Super fun, man.
Yeah.
Super fun.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I got my Model 3 too.
Okay.
And I'd like to get the Cybertruck, but it actually wouldn't even fit my garage.
Really?
I would have to move.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, or keep it on the street or something, but
That's
it's too
crazy.
big for my garage.
Nah, yeah, that thing is huge, man. So it's like a big old Roblox car or something.
That's
what it
is.
reminds
It
me of.
is. I love it.
Yeah.
And then there's the whole rust issue. I don't know. People seem rusty on the thing. Yeah.
Yeah. Nah, that's crazy.
Man, I want to hear about your story. I want to know, first of all, one thing that stuck out to me is that at one point you basically were homeless.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, man. I was homeless back in 20, going from 19 going into 20.
That's not even that long ago.
It's not long at all. Like right around the pandemic. And the reason because that happened is I had a medical transportation company at the time. Actually, me and Woody was like running like two companies together like simultaneously, right? So then basically we take people back and forth to the hospital. So people have to sit next to each other. So when the pandemic hit, everybody was scared, right?
Mm-hmm.
So we had a bunch of contracts, but when people didn't want to go to the hospital no more, guess what? We losing contracts because we don't have enough trips to even put in the vans that we had.
Yo, people are scared to go to the hospital
People
because of
scared.
COVID.
Ain't that an oxymoron, right? But they don't want to sit next to nobody in a car. So opposed to when we used to put like 5 or 6 people coming from the same location going to the hospital. That's how we ran it up. You see what I'm saying? But now it's only one person coming here and there, and we got all these drivers and all of that.
Yeah.
So pretty much making a long story short, like we end up losing all our contracts pretty much. You know what I mean? And we was down to like one van. So we end up losing that contract as well because they ended up just giving all the trips to a bigger company that can do it all. You know what I mean? So yeah. So when we lost that, I was down to like my last, I would say $700-800. Like period. Like, you know what I mean? And shoot, I couldn't pay my rent.
Did you have a job at that point?
That was my only job.
So you had the job, had just a few bucks,
Mm-hmm.
weren't really able to make your rent payments.
I wasn't able to make it because that's all I had left. You know what I mean? So they ended up evicting me. And I was already on my last leg anyway. Because look, it was about the money, but it was more so about also what I was trying to do out of the apartment complex. So I had like a dealer's license. So I was selling cars too. Right?
Okay.
So I had a lot of traffic coming through. You know what I mean? So they didn't know what was going on. So they like, I got several warnings about like, look, man, I don't know what you're doing, but you can't have all this traffic coming through here.
Yeah.
So they wanted me gone. So me not paying my rent just added to the fuel of them saying, nah, we can't. You know what I mean? We can't keep you here, man. Yeah. So
what happened? So they kicked you out. Where did you go?
They kicked me out. And they put all my stuff out on the line.
They took it out for you?
They took it out. They literally took it out, man.
You showed
like,
up and
the sheriff came and everything.
Oh my
bro.
gosh!
Like, all my shit was on the line. Like seriously. And all I had a medical transportation van at the time. I was down to the last van. I had to take it back from one of my drivers because, like I said, I had to put him on hold because we didn't have enough trips.
Yeah.
So I'm driving that van as a work van, and I had to put my stuff in the back of the van. So now I'm living in the back of that van, like trying to find somewhere else to live. My credit is fucked up, bro. Like I got $700 to my name. Credit is fucked up. I'm still trying to make it happen with this, this one little van, and my shit is in the back of it at the same time. So I can't really take people in it. And the main money that we had was like the wheelchair trips, right? That's what paid the most. But my wheelchair lift had a fucking couch on it and some clothes. So technically all I could take was like, they call it like ambulatory trips, like one person at a time, and they would look back, they'd be like,
who live in here?
Right. So I'm like, yeah, just ignore it. Don't worry about it.
Is that poop in a bucket?
Exactly. Right. You go get to the hospital, don't worry about it. But yeah, man. That
was kind of like your own business, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how does that work? So basically you get your license, you get a truck, and then you get contracted out with these different calls.
Kind of, man. It's way more complicated than that, especially in Illinois.
Okay.
You gotta have like something called a Medicaid ID number.
Okay.
Right, and then it's so many stipulations that they want you to have to keep up with, man. It's like you're spending so much money before you even get in the game.
Yeah.
So it almost make you have to finesse the game.
Mm-hmm.
You feel me? Like they're charging you so much for insurance, and then you gotta have what's that called? Workers' comp that you're never gonna use. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? All these different things, and it's like, how can I make this work for me?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So you adding drivers that don't even got licenses, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because you got to pay so much just to add a new driver and a new van and all of that and get it registered and all that. So it's like, man, half of my drivers wasn't even registered, bro. Like that was the only way I can really make it work and actually make some money. You know? But it all backfired though. I mean,
so there you were. You just got kicked out,
mm-hmm.
and got a few $100 left to your name.
Yeah.
And what's going through your mind when you know you had to make it work? Like, take me back to that moment. What was going through your mind at that time?
Man, to be honest with you, I really wasn't thinking at all at that time. And I actually was going through something that was even worse than that. Like, I was going through, like, very, very bad anxiety and depression, right? Because I had got drugged. Like, somebody gave me some bad weed, you know what I mean? And it really fucked me up. So at that time, like, that was really the worst time of my life. And honestly, money was the last thing I was thinking about, because I'm just like, man, I don't know. I'm finna fucking have to check into a mental institution because I'm damn near ready to jump off a bridge or something. You know what I mean? So that was just a painful point, bro. Like, but I'll say this. When I realized, like I said, being in those vans, just sleeping in there at night, I'm like, man, my life is really fucked up right now, man. I got to try to do something else, And that's when I started, what's so crazy, I make all my money off Instagram right now. I hated Instagram prior to this, you know what I mean? But I started, searching on Instagram, just scrolling. You know how you see all these gurus popping up and down the screen with all this money, you know what I mean? Cars and all this, and you just think like, man, everybody's fake, But it was one particular guy that I seen him. I got his program. It was $20 at the time. He was real flashy. And I bought his program. And I'm like, I'm going to try it, And to my surprise, when I was reading it, and I'm like, oh, shit, I understand this. This could work for me if I really put some effort into it. You know what I mean? And pretty much what he was selling was a course on how to start an online business. And he was he had a skincare brand at the time. So pretty much the program was teaching pretty much how to sell anything. And he gave step-by-step instructions, and I just followed each step. But before I went to the next step, I finished the first step. I didn't read the program and be like, okay, because if you read anybody's program, you're gonna be like, it's a lot to do. Opposed to just taking it one step at a time, saying, let me get step one done. I'm gonna stop right there. You know what I mean? Then move on to step two. And that's how it started to make sense to me.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's what some people would just read it and not implement anything at all.
Right. Exactly.
Hey, $20, that's not bad,
Yeah.
I mean, of course, like that, it's $20 is not even the real cost, because the cost is, you're going to spend a lot of time going through it, and then a lot of energy putting it into place. And so what was that course about? What did you kind of learn in that course that kind of changed, and what did you actually do, and what came from it?
like I said, what I learned is instantly I understood what was going on online. I understood what was going on with all the big brands and what they was doing, promotion, you know what I mean, with influencers and all of that. I'm like, how do these people get how do these big companies get these people to promote their brand? Because like if you look at your normal like celebrity, like a Kim K or anybody like that, you automatically think they rocking with that brand. You see what I'm saying? Because they're endorsing it. That's the finesse behind using influencers.
Right.
The average person, 99% of the world don't know that person has gotten paid to do that. Mm-hmm. So when I seen that in there, I said, okay, well, obviously I don't have the type of money or any normal business don't got the type of money to pay like a Kim K $500K. You see what I'm saying? To promote their products because they know they're going to make millions upon millions back from it. But there's something, what he showed me, it was something called a micro influencer, right? So micro influencer is anybody that have anywhere between like 10 and 100,000 followers, right? Guess what? These people don't even know their worth. They have no idea that they're influencers. And a lot of time you can turn a person into an influencer if you see that they got engagement, but they just don't know what's going on. They haven't even promoted a product yet. So what I would do is I would hop inside their DMs and say, hey, you know, you do promo. They'd be like, yeah, or whatever. So instead of like, so what he did teach me, opposed to asking a person, what is your budget? Or, I mean, what is your promo rates? We say, hey, this is my budget. Mm-hmm. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So we take them out the game and let them know you work for me, right? So this is what I'm willing to pay you. So then we start low. So then they might say like, okay, let's say you start at $50, right? And you say, let me post on your page for $50 for 24 hours. They might say like, nah, that's too little. Let's do 100. Cool, that's what I wanted to pay you. Anyway, I really had a $300 budget. You see what I'm saying? But I lowballed you so bad so that I can get the best out of, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so you learned negotiation.
I learned negotiation, right. Yeah. And the leverage that I had because I'm like, you're not getting nobody asking you to even do promo. And then I would tell them like, if this one works, like we can do this consistently.
Right.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
So what was your first product that you used that you did?
That I sold? It's actually funny. My first product that I created on my own was a skincare brand called Pure Lift. So I sell waist slimming gel, butt and breast enhancement cream.
Okay. Yeah. So I rub this cream on my boobies and I get big or what?
That's the idea. Okay, so look, what's so funny is like when I first like created it at home. Like,
you made it at home?
So look, let's back up for a second, right? So once I actually started this company, right, you know what I mean? I was able to get myself, like I made money really, really quick. People don't understand, like Shopify pays like every day except Saturday and Sunday. So when I started my business, I was instantly able to get in a rental crib. You see what I'm saying? So that's
a rental grid?
A rental crib. Rental house.
Okay.
Right. So that's what took me out of my truck.
Okay.
Like my business literally took me out of being homeless and into a home that fast. Literally, it happened within a month. Right. So, and that's why I tell people to like start their business. It's like your life can change instantly. Yeah. It didn't need. Oh, yeah. It didn't need much for mine to change because I was just literally trying to get back to square one. Yeah. Right. It's cool. Right. So I get into this crib. Right. And I'm looking up different ingredients to like how do you make the ass bigger? Like, you know what I mean? Because I want to sell butt enhancement cream, right? Because that's what my mentor was doing.
Wait, I want to know what your Google history looked like. How do I make the butt bigger?
Yeah, like what type of ingredients is like gonna plump the ass? Like what's gonna make it bigger? You know what I mean? So it was funny. So this is a funny story. This is how I came up with the name of my company. My name of my company is called Pure Lift, and it's spelled Pueralift.
Pueralift.
Right.
Okay.
So there's an ingredient that's called Pueraria mirifica, right?
Okay.
So the Pura from there, and then what it do? It lifts the butt and breast. So Pura Lift. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
So
okay.
I'm mixing this shit up at home, and I'm trying to figure out like what type of, you know, you got to put like a preservative in there because you got to give it some shelf life, right? But I don't know this shit, bro. I don't, you know. So I'm just putting a little bit in there, and bro, I'm selling it. And I'm hoping nobody breaks out or you know what I mean? Like I'm literally like just experimenting, which is kind of fucked up, right? You know what I mean? But I looked up everything that I needed and it said it was gonna be okay. You know what I mean? So, but what I did was I ended up finding out about a company called Alibaba. You ever heard of Alibaba?
Yeah.
Right. So I'm like, okay, they got butt enhancement creams
Yeah, that's
on here.
that's where you can buy things wholesale from International.
Yeah, and you can put your label on
Right,
it. You know what I mean?
then,
White
yeah.
label, exactly. So that's what I ended up doing. I stopped making it from the crib.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Thank you for staying.
Right.
Probably did a lot of people a favor.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I stopped making it from the crib. So I ended up going through Alibaba, and I started ordering, bulk from there. You know what I mean? But I'll tell you another hack that I did. Because my first week in business, I sold over 300 units. Of
What?
This. Yeah, bro.
When you mixing it up at home?
Yeah.
Wow.
So what I did was I sold what I didn't have, right? Because so they bought it, right? And I said, you know what? I'm not gonna send 300 units out of this shit that I made, right? So now I'm like, let me get on Alibaba and get them to ship it here. So once I got that money from my first couple of orders, I was able to order a shipment, right? So now all I got to do is keep my customers like on edge, like, hey, what's going on? Because think about it like this.
A month till it arrives.
Nah,
right?
it was like 3 weeks.
3 weeks?
It was like 3 weeks. And I told
okay.
them to put a rush on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had leverage with them because I was telling them, I had looked up another couple of companies too, and they know those companies. I'm like, well, so-and-so said they can get it to me in a week. You see what I'm saying? So-and-so told me they can get it to me in a couple of days. They like, that's impossible. That's what they told me. So I'm lying. You know what I mean? But it worked. It made them put a rush on my order. And when they got it out to me, all I had to do was keep telling my customers, like, okay, hey, I'd be like, hey, hon. And this is another thing. Nobody knew it was a man operating this woman company.
Wow.
Right? So it's faceless.
Yeah.
So I had to channel my inner, like.
And a woman.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I mean? So I'm like, hey, hon, you know what I mean? Hey, sis, all of that.
Yeah.
Like, your order is on the way. Please be patient with us. Our engineers are working very hard. Yeah, okay. I'm working very hard in this kitchen. You know what I mean? And it was so funny. Like Woody would get a kick out of this too, because he remember when we used to say it. He used to be like, he used to see my post, right? And he used to be like, engineers, you're fucking lying. It's like, it ain't nothing but you, me, sometimes. You know what I mean? Yeah. But he got a kick out of that, man. But
hey, you gotta fake it till you make it.
You gotta fake it till you make
right?
it. But the thing is, people only want to know that your company is not a scam.
Yeah.
So as long as you're actually talking to them, they'll be like, okay, cool, it's coming. Yeah. So I was able to hold off like 300 people, bro. Because only like, honestly, about 10 people only contacted me asking like, where's my order at? Everybody else ordered some shit and they just forget.
Yeah.
And when it arrived, they like, oh shit, it it's real, So that's how I made it work. And once I had my shipment in, it was game time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How did you even find 300 customers in your first week?
Man, bro.
Tell me about that.
Man, just what I did was I promoted my company as if it was already big. And what I mean by that is what I would put in my stories, I would be like, opposed to saying we're launching this brand, I would say we're relaunching, right? And what it makes it look like, we sold out before, so you don't want to miss out on this shipment. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would have people go on to, I created a waiting list, right? So I would have people go on the wait list and pretty much tell them like, hey, look, you can get this product, but if you don't get on this wait list, you're probably going to miss out on it. And if you get on the wait list, you're only going to have 10 minutes to go in here and purchase before the general public can bump you.
That's like high level shit for your first run.
That's a gem, bro.
But that was on your own. That was like on a brand Instagram.
That was on brand Instagram.
And then you started running ads, or how did
I didn't start running. That's a whole nother story. I didn't start running ads until.
How did people find it? The first on your first, the relaunch.
The relaunch. Like, how did I find like?
How did people find your Instagram the first time to be able to make these orders?
Oh, because I just had a regular Instagram page and I started posting. I just started posting shit about like my brand or whatever, and then I would get like different girls, you know what I mean, that had nice bodies already, right? And I would pay them a little bit of something. You see what I'm saying?
So you found these micro influencers like you were talking about before.
Right. So they're putting it on their page, right? So then they're tagging me in a post and they're saying pretty much go back to this page. This is, you know what I mean? Saying we got results or whatever the case may be. But nobody had even used the product yet, right?
Yeah.
So it was a way that I would word it because I didn't want to seem like, I didn't want to insult like my own integrity and be like I'm lying, right?
Right.
So so I got this thing now that I came up with these 4 pieces of content, right? And I discovered what I was doing way back then. I just discovered this, honestly, probably about a year ago, like what I was doing. So I call it like an exaggeration post, right? So opposed to saying somebody used something, right, and lying to the people, I pretty much do what like McDonald's, Burger King, and everybody do. They put a billboard on the expressway and of a beautiful looking burger, right? So then that subliminally gets you hungry and make you say, hey, look, let me go to McDonald's and get this burger. Now, although you're not gonna get that beautiful looking burger,
it never looks like that.
It's never gonna look like that, right? The bun is gonna be off to the side. The you know what I mean? The patty is the mac sauce is gonna be all, but you go still get a damn good burger, right?
Yeah.
But
and when you're making this bun lifting cream, their buns might be off to the side.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. But the illusion is when you put these nice looking women on the screen, right? And it's basically your post is just saying, Paralift has a sale, da-da-da-da-da. They're automatically thinking this person used it to get that body, but we didn't say you used it.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
I mean, that's the whole industry.
Right, exactly.
That's everybody.
The whole industry. That's a fact.
Right.
Yeah. So that's how I got people to my page. I had my first 50,000 followers probably within the first like month.
Damn. And how much money do you think you spent on micro influencers?
Not much. I spent like $50 to $100 a day.
And this was like, you said 2017? No, this 2021?
Yeah, this was now. It was 2020 going into 2021. Wow. Yeah, absolutely.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
And that was the first time you ever launched an e-commerce brand.
First time ever.
From a $20 course.
From a $20 course.
Wow.
Yeah.
You see, that's different right there.
It is, man.
That's different.
I would
people
make
can spend $3,000, $5,000, $10,000 on a course.
Yeah.
And then just like not do anything with it.
And not do anything with it, right. And I pretty much became his poster child because nobody else could figure it out, right? Mm-hmm. So that's when everybody wanted to, it was 15,000 people in his program prior to me actually coming in. Mm-hmm. So nobody had done anything with it yet. So I'm not the type of person that look at a situation and say, hey, let me wait to see if somebody else is successful before I try this. No, I'm like, I'm gonna try it and then either I'm gonna debunk it. You see what I'm saying? Or
for $20, yeah. I mean,
who cares?
I mean, if it was like $10,000, then maybe you'd be like, oh, let me just check it out. What's For $20, like you gotta be willing to throw that around.
You gotta be willing to do that, man. So yeah, I was able to do that. I made my first 100,000 within the first month. Yeah.
100,000 in the first month?
I made 100,000 in the first month. Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. And I ended up hitting my million in 10.5 months. Yeah.
What was going through your mind when those orders started rolling in?
Man.
I mean, were you like I'm good? Or were you like I'm scared? Or were you like I wonder how big I can get this?
I was a little bit scared because I was thinking like I'm thinking it's like some kind of conspiracy going on. Like I'm like the government is just allowing me to do this until I get to a certain number, and
they're gonna come knock on the door. You didn't pay the right tax. You missed this form.
Exactly.
You didn't have this signature here, so we're gonna have to take you away.
Right. That's a fact. Yeah, I was scared and excited at the same time because I'm like, holy shit, this is what's going on. This is what the big dogs are doing. I'm just doing it on a smaller scale. You know what I mean? But this is how you do online sales. This is e-commerce. You use other people's platform to leverage your brand. That's all I did.
Wow.
That's it.
Wow. So 300 sales that first week, 100K in sales your first month.
Mm-hmm.
And then where did you go from there?
Man, from there, just started going bigger. Started using bigger influencers. Paying a little bit more money for bigger leverage.
Yeah.
Opposed to micro influencers, I started hitting real influencers that had 3.4 million followers that was charging me $1,500 to post because I knew I was getting 9,000 to 10,000 back a day.
It's not even that bad, $1,500.
It's not bad at all.
For one post, kind of.
For one post, yeah. For 24 hours, yeah. And it would go crazy.
What do you mean 24 hours? Like a story? Or?
No, it's on their page. On their page post, and then they just take it down.
Like take it down?
Yeah, they take it down.
For real?
And some people some people have permanent posts. You know what I mean? But most people see the thing
I never heard of that where they take it down.
Well, I actually created that, right? So
I like that because it's like less risk to them, and they're more like I would be more likely to accept a deal.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to take any brand deals personally. But if I was like, 24 hours, take it down. Okay, let's talk about it, you know?
Because I didn't want
Money's
to tarnish.
right.
I didn't want to tarnish their brand either.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? And another thing, what I wanted to do, I call it a flash post. All this shit I'm coming up with myself, Al. Like I literally. So that's how I leveraged them, because a lot of people didn't want to promote like butt enhancement cream and breast, you know what I mean? All of that. But I'm like, it's coming down, right? And another thing to that is what I did to the customer. It takes a person 7 times average to see something before they buy it, right? My whole finesse was to put it up, take it down, put it up, take it down, so that they'd be like, where did that go? I just seen that the other day. Now they looking for me.
Ooh.
You see what I'm saying? So, and once they see it again, it's like, oh shit, I got to get it now, because I don't know when I'm gonna see it again.
I was putting it up, take it down on the same influencer?
On the same influencer. But check this out. This is another finesse game. Because I knew my demographic, I started targeting like influencers that was into like that type of vanity, right? BBLs and all that type of shit, love and hip hop, right? So I targeted all the love and hip hop ladies. So I would promote sometimes when I would go crazy, I would promote on 5 or 6 love and hip hop girl pages. So when a person is scrolling that follows that whole little scene, they like, what the fuck is going on? I'm seeing the same thing, but they're thinking it's the same person, but it's different people. It's fucking their heads up, bro.
So you would coordinate it to where they're all going to post it at the same time?
No, they won't post at the same time. They would post like maybe an hour. You see what I'm saying? I would do an hour on an hour on an hour on an hour.
So you told them what hour to post?
Right. I told them what hour to post. I'm like,
That's
this person's posting at
bro.
3.
That's some sophisticated shit right there, man.
Bro, that's why.
It's almost like you knew what the fuck you were doing. I mean, the course didn't have this information.
No way. Hell no.
No, it had like, hey, man, you make a product, you fucking make a Shopify store, and you launch it and become a millionaire.
Yeah.
But you're like, hang on, let's take a look.
Yeah.
Like, how can I actually kind of fix this up, finesse it, make it my own, add my flavor to it?
Absolutely. Yeah. He did tell me about influencers for sure.
Gotcha.
But he didn't tell like the way I tweaked it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And added that flavor to it. Yeah. That was mine. And that's why all those 15,000 students wanted to now learn from me. Now, it's not that they didn't want to learn from him no more. That's still my mentor to this day. He put me in the game, right?
Yep.
But he just had a few holes in his program that I closed.
All right, so let's talk about that. So you shot up. You figured out you cracked the code for success, and now people are looking at you.
Right.
Like, hey, all right, I got the basics from this other guy, but like, what's this guy got going on over here?
Right. Yeah.
How did he do it?
Right.
I'm okay with pay him a little bit of coin to figure out exactly what his game is.
Right. Exactly.
So people started seeing you and your success on your personal Instagram page.
On my personal Instagram, right.
Were you talking about business on your personal Instagram?
See, what he did was when I started getting success, he started me with this coaching thing because he would call me up on live because everybody was calling him a scam. So the only person he could run to was Mike and say, Mike, come up on live so somebody's saying it's a scam. Show them your numbers. Show them your numbers. So he pretty much, I'm like, and I'll be in bed sometime, but I felt obligated to do it because I'm like, this man just changed my life. So I would get up, you know what I mean? Brush my teeth, put some clothing real quick. Be like, Mike, come on. Be like, give me 5 minutes, give me 5 minutes. You know what I mean? I'm finna go on live. He got 1.7 million followers.
Oh, wow.
Right. So I'm not even used to I'm nervous, you know what I mean? And I got to come on live, split screen, you know what I mean? And talk and show my numbers. And it was just crazy, bro. He would do this literally probably 4 or 5 times a week.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
But you didn't get any compensation?
No, I ain't get no compensation
But
from
at the
him.
very least, you were getting some recognition.
I was getting recognition. I was getting hella followers.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? And people were...
Little did he know he was building up a beast.
He built the beast. He built the beast. Yeah. Yeah. He built like it, but see, this is the thing. He say, I built him. And I say he built me.
Yeah.
Right.
Partnership right there.
You see what I'm saying? Because he said, Mike, you made my program credible.
Right.
Nobody knew that this worked until you came along and did it.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? So then he really shot up.
Yeah. I'm curious, like, what's he doing selling $20 courses anyways? I feel like
it ain't $20 no more.
You know? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So
Yeah.
he figured that out. That's good.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right. So where are we at? So you you guys started flowing each other power.
Right.
You get on the lives. You're boosting him up. He's boosting you up, and you're building this reputation for yourself as someone that built your e-commerce store, scaled it up to $1 million.
Right.
And now people want the sauce.
Right.
So what happened?
So they wanted the sauce. So I ended up, opposed to like study answering everybody's DMs and telling them, you know, hey, you can pay me this, you know what I mean, to teach you this, da-da-da. I just wrote 3 ebooks, right? And the first one was how to start and grow a successful online business from scratch. It was called 1 Mil 1 Year, based off of me making $1 million in less than a year, right? The second book was called, it was pretty much based off the influence. It was the Instagram, pretty much guide to, you know, learning how to market with influencers and all of that. And the third one was based off of fulfillment, teaching people how to go into the fulfillment center.
Wow.
Because I went into I had, like, my shit got so big at like month 8, then I had to put it all in the fulfillment center. I had to take it off my hands.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I had to mass produce it. So after that, all I had to do was market.
Yeah.
And that's when it really got good, because I didn't have to, was packing this shit no more, taking it to the post office, hauling all, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's pain.
It got to a point, bro, where at the post office, I literally had to, like, they got tired of me bringing so much shit in, and they had to scan, and they was working overtime. Then, bro, it got to the point where when I walked in, they just gave me a scanner, open the door, like, go ahead, do your own shit. They didn't want to do it no more. They didn't want to do it no more. So I would literally I would have to pay some post office workers, like, to work overtime and help me out. Yeah, so they was making extra money from me on the side to stay with me so we can finish up the orders and get them out. Yeah.
So you know what problems they're going to encounter before they even get there.
Absolutely. 1,000%.
And then you already have the solutions ready for them.
I got the solutions absolutely ready. And this is the thing. Nobody has to do that no more. Because I created I ended up creating my whole coaching ladder, right? So like I said, the first was the ebooks. That's like do it yourself.
Yeah.
Right. And then I created the mentorship, which is done for you, right? That's $16K, right? So we're going to literally build out your entire business the exact same way mine was built. Logo, label, website, right? Get you to 10 to 15K engaged followers, get you in fulfillment center. So right off the bat, no one has to do that grind that I did, right? Packing orders, shipping them, taking to the post office, marketing and all of that. Right off the bat, you go straight into fulfillment center with an on-demand product that never runs out.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying? Problem solved.
Wow.
Yeah.
So what kind do you, so you have the 16K done for you service.
Right.
What are some of the other products that you offer? So hang on, let me come back for a second.
Yeah.
Okay, so the ebooks.
Right.
Talk to me about what happened with the ebooks.
The ebooks did very, very well. Like I said, I ended up getting students. Shoot, we made what we make 2 millionaires out of that. We made 2 millionaires off the ebooks. Done for you. Okay.
2 millionaires from the ebooks. From people that read the ebooks and then went out and executed the plan,
right,
and became a success.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Yeah, absolutely. And a host of thousandaires. And listen, you it's people that make $100 a day. It's people that make thousands a day. All of that. It all depends on your execution, how you work,
and your goals, right?
Right.
I mean, like some people just would be super happy to make $2,000 to pay their rent.
Absolutely. Per month.
And that's a win.
Yeah, that's a win.
$2,000 a month to pay their rent.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So like I said, I don't encourage nobody to just quit their job right away or anything like that. You know what I mean? I say, look, start your business, and when it supersedes that, if it does, then you can quit, right? When you're making double what you was making on your job, and it's consistent, you know, you got a quality brand, you got a stable brand, then you can quit. Or you don't ever have to quit, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
Because like the way that I set it up now, you operating it from your phone. You can be sitting at work. I don't care what type of work you do. You can schedule your post out, so you post once or twice a day. You see what I'm saying? And you just let the sales roll in, because you got the fulfillment center packing and shipping everything.
Yeah.
It's a no-brainer. Yeah, bro.
So how many ebooks did you sell?
I sold.
And I'm curious about how you sold those
number.
ebooks.
I don't know the number. So like I said, it was 30,000 on the first day. Yeah, we made 30,000 on the first day.
$30,000?
Yeah.
On the first day?
On the first day selling the ebook.
Damn.
Right.
That was your first time making that kind of money from a digital product.
Absolutely.
Because you never had a digital product.
I never had a digital product. Yeah.
And boom, 30 racks.
Right. Yeah.
Woo.
Yeah, because see, it was all built up. It's the same formula that I use for my skincare brand.
Yeah, you had all the pent-up demand, right?
Exactly.
So did you have a waiting list?
I had a waiting list, right.
Damn. Damn.
That's the sauce.
That's the sauce.
But see,
the anticipation.
Right, but people don't understand how to. I can tell people all day, create a waiting list, create a waiting list. Nobody knows how to execute that.
Yes.
And what you have to do the week prior, right? There's a courting process that has to take place, right? It's like you're courting a woman. You know what I mean? It's like you're dating somebody for a full week, and then you get them to drop the panties, pretty much. You see what I'm saying? Like that's pretty much what you're doing. Because ain't no, like, if you come to somebody right away and just say, hey, just buy this, they're not gonna buy. You know what I mean? I mean, you'll get impulse buyers, right? But to really create that sense of urgency and scarcity, you have to court them the entire week to build them up to it, right? Take their emotions high, take them low, and all of that. Emotions high meaning, hey, you're on the wait list, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna be able to get this product if you order it within the first 10 minutes. And then we take them low, middle through the week. Hey, bad news, the wait list just got bigger. Lucky for you, you were still one of the first persons, so you're on the first list. So now the list has split into two, but so now you're only gonna have 5 minutes to get in there. And they're like, oh shit, I can still get it, but now I gotta really have my credit card ready. You see what I'm saying? Sense of scarcity, urgency, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah.
Wow. And when you launched the ebooks, did you launch all 3 at the same time?
I did, yeah.
Wow. See, that's an interesting mentality. My mentality, which, I mean, I haven't ever launched a digital product like that, but I would think to myself, okay, I'm gonna write a book and launch it.
Right.
And in fact, I would like write it and then launch it. I probably wouldn't even do a waiting list.
Right.
You know.
Exactly.
But you wrote a book, kept it
Right.
to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Wrote another book, kept it
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
yourself. Wrote another book, kept it to yourself. And you had like just putting it all into the treasure chest.
Right. Yeah.
And then you just built up all the demand, all the excitement, and as soon as you're ready to launch, just open up the floodgates and let it through.
Yep. And you want to know why I did that? It's because if you order book 1, you're gonna need book 2. If you order book 2 and it's working, you're gonna need book 3.
Yeah.
So I wrote them like that purposely so you can see that, okay, damn, I started my business, da-da-da-da, what do I do with it now? All right, the second one, this is how to market it, right? Okay, cool, the market is going good, and then now it's getting too big. What do I do? Oh, you got to go into fulfillment. That's book number 3. So you come in like entry level, you know what I mean? And you got to like kind of work your way up to get to book number 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you sell them each individually or as a package?
Well, I sold them inside of
probably.
a funnel. So it's like you come in, I think the first book was like, at the time, it was $47. And then the second one, it went up to $197. It was an upsell, right? And then if they didn't take that, it was a down sale for like $97. You see what I'm saying?
Yes.
And then the third one was $397.
Damn, bro, that's
and
some
then
advanced level shit. And that was your first like digital product like that.
Absolutely.
So where did you learn about this kind of stuff, like the upsells and the downsells and the funnels? Is that from your original guy? I mean, that sounds like some Russell Brunson ClickFunnels.
It is. That's from Woody. Woody took that course or whatever.
Okay.
So we invested in that.
Which
and,
one? ClickFunnels?
Yeah, ClickFunners. Yeah.
Okay.
He learned that whole process and he brought that to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And he showed me how to, like, we would work on these funnels like 3, 4 in the morning. You know what I mean? Just figuring the shit out ourselves, like, because couldn't nobody really, you can't teach certain things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You could teach us like how to put it together, but you can't teach nobody like, oh shit, this doesn't look right, or whatever the case may be, like the little intricate things, how to stretch the words out and make it not look, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Then from desktop to mobile, how does it look? Because the average person would just go on fix a funnel and just, look at it from there.
Desktop,
but you got to go to the mobile site too, because mobile is most important. Most people are going to be purchasing from mobile.
Yeah, that's a big mistake everyone makes, is they all make it on desktop, and so they make it desktop first, but 80% of people are going to be on the phones.
Exactly. Yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, man.
Okay, dang, that's some good stuff right there.
Yeah. Man.
Okay, so, and then where did you go from there? What are you up to? So then from there you started doing more. So that's like a do-it-yourself.
Right.
And then you started offering other service levels.
Right. Yeah, because it got to the point where like, well, we can't do what you do. You know what I mean? I still got to work and this, that, and the third. So I can't pack and ship products, everything like that. So that's what made me start saying, people start asking me like, hey, do you have a done for you thingy? Because I'm still on my job. Like, is there a way that you could do it, build my business first? I'm like, I could do that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's when we created the mentorship, right?
Okay.
And we pretty much did the same thing. Like we had like we did like a 5-day training. And let me tell you what's so crazy about that, man. It's actually, it was a win and a loss. So we did a 5-day challenge. Have you ever heard of that?
I have, and I haven't done one.
Yeah.
But I'm really looking to get into a 5-day challenge for my business. So tell me about it. I don't know about it.
So you familiar with Myron Golden, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay. So this is a little something. It's funny if Myron see this, he's gonna laugh at me.
Come on, Myron.
Because he gonna be like, "This is what you get," right? So Myron teaches this 5-day challenge, right?
Yeah.
This waitlist thing, right? All in his $55,000 mentorship, right? So instead of me paying $55,000, what I did was I went to one of his 5-day. I took his 5-day challenge, right? But I didn't take his 5-day challenge to actually take the challenge. I took the 5-day challenge to watch the systems and processes that he used.
Basically.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So what are you sending me? What is this powered by? Da 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 da. This, that, and the third, right? So by the end of the challenge, I'm like, oh shit, I know how to do it. You know what I mean? And when it got to the part where the funding comes in, right? Because you got to offer funding to the people, right? Because people that don't
financing, right?
Right, financing, right? So I even got the company that did it, right?
Okay.
Because I applied for it, so I'm like, oh, this is the company. Bam, I retract my application. You know what I mean? I don't need it. Long story short, I launched my 5-day challenge and everything. So this 5-day challenge is supposed to you can make $1 million in a day, right? You heard about that, right?
Yeah, $1 million in a day.
Right. So I literally did the 5-day challenge. It was very successful. A lot of people signed up for it, right? And I was set to make that $1 million in a day, right? What happened was, what happened was when they sent the money through, right? About $700,000 worth of sales got sent back to the actual customer as fraud because I used Stripe. In his $55,000 program, he specifically tells you don't use Stripe.
He says that. I heard it. I heard him say it on stage. You never use Stripe.
Right. So guess what? $55,000 that I didn't spend cost me $700,000.
Wow. Isn't it crazy how it's one small thing that can make all the difference?
One thing.
And you're like, why am I going to pay $55,000? That's why. Shoot.
Yeah.
And the same thing goes for an e-commerce store. Why am I going to pay $16,000?
Right.
Well, because if I tell you one sentence,
thank you,
it can change everything for you.
Thank you. Exactly.
Your whole trajectory.
Whole thing. Yep. And that's what you said is key right there.
So did you rerun it?
No.
What?
I'm scared of it.
Let's get that money.
I haven't rerun it yet, man. It's
Bro, you had 700K in sales?
That was so disappointing, man.
When was that?
This was in what 21?
Oh,
bro.
That was
22, right?
Let's get you another challenge, man. We need to get you. You haven't had $1 million day yet, have you?
I would have had it.
You know, Mike Barron, he went up and talked to Myron Golden. He watched one of his live events.
Yeah.
And he went up after the event. Myron Golden closing the whole damn room.
Yeah.
Right? And everyone's rushing towards the back, grabbing their order forms.
Yeah.
And Mike Barron, he walks up to Myron.
Yeah.
On the stage. And he says, yo, man, my name's Mike Barron. I got 2 Comma Club X Award winner. Like, I'm doing a little something. Myron's like, I made $10 million online. And he's like, Myron says, you ain't made $1 million in a day, though. That's cold.
That's a fact.
You made $1 million in a day, though.
Right. Yeah.
And so man. Mike ended up giving him a little bag to work with them too. But damn, so nah, man. If you still ain't got your $1 million day, I want to see you.
You want to see
come back on this show and tell me that you had your $1 million day doing a 5-week challenge.
I
but
got you.
That sounds amazing, man.
I got you.
So what else, man? So you ran the challenge, fucked that up,
right? Big time.
And then what? That was 3 years ago now.
Yeah, man. I took a break after that, bro. It hurt me so bad. Like,
shit.
I took a break. Like, honestly, I probably took like a 6-month break. And I don't mean I took a full break.
Damn, I don't know I'm trying to imagine what that would be like, man.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine what that would be like to see the money, $700,000. Was it already in the Stripe account?
Yeah. It was, and they sent it all back. They just started sitting there, and all my students was like, "Hey, man, I got the money back. What's going on?"
Oh,
so I'm like, "Give me a minute, just give me a few days so I can figure this out." We trying to scramble, try to get another payment gateway and all that. And you know how people are. People are real spiritual.
Man. once they got the money back,
yeah, they
got
like,
to
oh, it must be God. It must not be meant to be, and all of that. So yeah, like mostly everybody never paid.
That's too hard to get it back. Like you spent all the time building up the emotion.
Yeah.
And then they took the initiative and like trying to get them to pay their, I don't know, how much was it? The upsells
At
like
that
each
course
person would pay
$24,000.
Each person would pay 24,000.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you ain't getting that shit back.
Nah, it was a wrap, man. That was a hard time. That was a hard time.
Okay.
But yeah.
So shoot. All right. So yeah, that's a wild feeling. Like seeing that money. That's probably the most money you ever made in like a week, right?
It is, for a fact. For a fact.
And then just having to give it all back. You didn't spend it yet, did you?
Hell no, I could not.
You didn't buy it. You go.
Nah, not at all, man.
Shoot, that would have been bad. That would have been bad.
Oh, so that's what you meant. You said, was it in the Stripe account yet? No, it was on its way. You see what I'm saying?
Well, my question was like, the customers had already paid for it. Like, it wasn't like pre-orders. It was
right.
Like
No.
money.
Yeah, it was actual money. Yeah,
but I mean, like, you didn't spend it yet. Like, you didn't go out and spend the money before it hit your bank account.
Right. No.
Like, you didn't say, oh, I got $700K coming. We go buy this new car, this new watch, none of that.
No, I didn't do that.
Okay, at least
I didn't do that.
Yeah. Okay, so then what did you do after that?
After that, man, we just kind of
took a little break,
and then we created the 16K mentorship. Okay, which is kind of the same thing as the 24K. It's just not as in depth. You know what I mean? It's not as in depth. Like we offer we was offering. Actually, it's better though, to be honest with you, because like we used to offer like maybe 10 products or whatever that people can have, but now we condensed it down to 4 major products that we know sell, right? Because after I made my million, there was 3 more people that came after me, right? There was 2 girls, and then there was another guy, and they sold these 3 other products. So then everybody started selling these other 3 products, and everybody else was being successful too, right? So now we know, like, oh shit, like these are the 4 products that really go. So those are the 4 products that are offering the 16K mentorship. Okay. Yeah, it's more detailed now. Yeah, I see. It's actually dialed in more. Yeah.
Right. And you built all that stuff out yourself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. So that's what you're focusing on now.
Yeah, that's what
that's been 3 years. That's what you've been working on for the past 3 years mostly?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. No, I mean, the ebooks are still in sale. I'm actually getting ready to drop another course now that's actually like more mid-level, that offers some of the same stuff that the 16K mentorship offers. It's just like, I'm just not necessarily putting you in the fulfillment center, right? Right. You got to do that process yourself, but you're getting all the information to do that. Yeah. Right. And that course is going to be like $997. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Cool. So that's what's next as far as that. Yeah.
Damn. So you came up.
Yeah.
In 3 years, you went from sleeping in a truck, sleeping in your van.
Yeah.
$700 your bank account.
$700. Yeah.
Landlord kicked you out. All your shit in the front porch.
Everybody's seen it.
And they said all your neighbors saw it.
my
cute girl next door saw it.
My girlfriend at the time actually lived in an apartment complex like right across from me. She the one told me it was out there. Picture how embarrassing that was. And she ain't know this was even going on. Yeah.
You told her you had it made out. Yeah, you told her you had it figured out.
Yeah, I thought I did. Yeah. Yeah, man. So that was tough.
And in 3 years, you made shit happen for yourself.
Yeah.
Now you got a little coin. Now you got a little bit of money.
A little money.
What's it like working? What's it like dating? What's it like dealing with women, relationships? What's changed from you since you've gone through that change?
You know what? To be honest with you, not a lot. Not a lot at all. You know, I've never had a problem like, okay, you know how people say like, watch out for women once you get money because you don't know who's real and who's fake and all that. But I really never had that problem. You know what I mean? Women never really gave me that. I've always kind of gotten what I want. You know what I mean? I've never been a type of person that felt like a woman was using me. You know what I mean? I always felt like they was pretty genuine because I always brought something to the table. I'll give you an example. Every woman that I have been with, like really, really been with in the last 8 years have now got successful online businesses too.
Wow.
You know what I mean?
That's a perk to dating.
But yeah, but see, this is the thing. Like when we were dating, all of these women would pour something back into me, right? And I'll give you out just to not go into all of them. One specifically, when I was doing the transportation company, she was working like my numbers and stuff, right? She was like doing like the books. So when I would pay her, I never knew that she was saving all of this money, right? So anytime I would need help, she would just give that money right back to me. Because sometimes the state wouldn't pay, you know what I mean? I wouldn't be able to pay drivers or anything like that. So she would give that money back to me. And I'm like, oh shit, you've been saving this money all this time? You see what I'm saying? So she would help me out in that manner. So she ended up, like when I ended up starting this business, she ended up getting inspired, you know what I mean? She wanted to start a business too. So now she got a successful pickle business, you know what I mean?
Pickle business.
Yeah, she
Okay,
sells pickles. And
nice.
what's so funny is she was making these pickles like while we were together, you know? And they was good as shit, man. Like I eat them to this day, like literally. But she became an entrepreneur, man. So it's like it was always a give and take thing. I always brought something to the table. You know what I mean? And I think where most men go wrong with women is that you just expect a woman to be something without you being something first.
Yeah.
We're the leaders, right?
Yeah.
So give them something to follow.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Teach them something so then they'll like if you give a woman something, she's gonna multiply it, right? Mm-hmm. So, but if you're not giving her nothing and then you're asking like, what do you bring to the table? No, you're supposed to bring something to the table first and then let her multiply that.
Right.
And that's why every woman that I've dealt with, like I kid you not, I like has successful online businesses now. Mm. Yeah.
That's something that I noticed in my relationships too, especially my wife. You know, however I typically am during a particular phase, that's how she is. Like if I'm working out hard, like if I'm eating right, if I'm dieting, if I'm, like that's when she's on.
Right.
You know?
Exactly.
And that's what it is. And so it's like if you are unhappy with your career, you're unhappy with your life, you're complaining a lot, you're gonna get that from your wife or your partner.
Absolutely.
And and that's where as like, men, we have to be, just doesn't even have to be a man, right? Mm-hmm. Each person in the relationship, if you want your partner, if you want to your relationship to be a certain way, you have to be a reflection of that.
Yeah.
And then that other person is going to reflect whatever it is you're showing.
Right.
And multiply it, like you said.
Exactly, man. And I'll give you one even better. You asked me how I was dating now. Mm-hmm. So I got a skincare brand, right?
Yeah.
I sold to over 50,000 women, right? In order to do that, I had to know women, right? And it's 3 things that women want, right? It's actually 4 things, but women need to be taught, led, and fed, right? And the other one, you know what that one is, but obviously I can't get that to them online, right? So guess what? What I didn't know I was doing at the time with my content, I was posting information, right? Mm-hmm. So whether it be a scare tactic or something like that, let's say somebody's want to get a BBL, right? So I would show the women how scary and dangerous BBLs are, right? Without saying, go get my product. So I'm teaching them something because they're thinking about ordering my product and they're thinking about going natural with my product and they're thinking about going unnatural with a BBL. So if I'm giving them information, I'm telling them not what not to do, but, probably what you shouldn't do, right? Scaring them. Okay, that's day 1, Monday. Day 2, right? Exaggeration. Remember the post that I was telling you about, what you could look like? Mm-hmm. So that's motivating them, right? So I'm teaching them, right? And then I'm leading them, right? So then on Wednesday, guess what? Is a product post. I'm leading them. I'm showing them something what to do. But instead of just posting my product, what I would do, I would tell them something to do with my product. Mm-hmm. So opposed to saying just buy this product, I would say, hey, use this smoothie, right? Which will help increase your results if you use them with this product. So like, oh shit, so guess what they got to do? The first thing you got to do is buy the product. Yeah. Second thing they got to do is go buy the smoothie, right? Yeah. So then you make them laugh, right? And do a funny post, right? Something that don't have nothing to do with your product, but just something like a jealous boyfriend or something chasing after a woman with a big butt, right? So they like, oh, I want my man to act like that, right? So guess what? I'm teaching them, I'm leading them, I'm feeding them, not physically, but, you know what I mean? Mentally, right? And then I'm making them laugh, right? That's consistency. I became their virtual husband. I became more consistent than their significant other.
Giving them everything they need.
Giving them everything they need. So guess what? Why wouldn't they buy from me? And that's why women end up spending a lot of money out of their husband's accounts because these companies are literally being more consistent than their actual husband. Wow. And they wonder like, why are they spending so much money with them? Right. Because that's her husband. That's her virtual husband. Yeah. That company is their virtual husband. Yeah. You feel me? Yeah. So
how did you get hooked up with Woody?
How I get hooked up? Man, I've been knowing Woody since I was 12 years old.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So that wasn't just from business.
Not at all, man. Me and Woody used to caddy back in the day carrying golfers' golf clubs. And
Yeah,
all
he
of
told
that
me all
shit.
about that.
Yeah, man.
Did you meet Michael Jordan?
Nah, I never met Mike.
Okay.
I always wanted to, but we met like half of the Bulls, though. I didn't like this dude back then, though, man. I didn't.
He talked too much, huh?
Yeah, he just knew how to finesse, man. Like, he literally, like, we used to caddy for the same person specifically. You remember Antoine Walker? He used to play for the Celtics.
Yeah.
Like, Woody used to, like, caddy for this dude, and Antoine Walker would give him anywhere between $400 to $600, right? For like 3 hours, right? This man ain't doing no type of work. We all running and sweating and all this shit. We losing balls and all this. This man is riding on the back of the car.
Yeah, that's what he
You know what I mean? Like, man, he's still getting all this money. Like, I work hard as hell, and then I only get like $100. I'll be like, oh, that's some bullshit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But yeah, we knew each other since we was 12. We was doing that, but we actually reconnected again when we was 26, riding motorcycles or whatever, right? And we just pretty much became inseparable from there, man.
Yeah. It seems like you two have a good dynamic. Like, I don't know. Maybe you're the business side, and he's kind of like the sales side. I don't know if that's what it is.
Woody is really the mouth. He's the influence. He's the person that you put in the room, and hey, go make that person get connected with us, right? Because you got the personality that's go be able to win this person over, right? So that we can do business with this person. So he's out, like I said. He was able to do when we was 12 years old, right? With all of these big NBA, NFL players. I'm like, how you get these people to like you so fast? He just knew how to do that. So that's still what he do to this day.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, tell me about what's next for you. Anything else you got? Future plans?
Yeah, man.
What you
Like
trying
I
to accomplish?
said, just man, we're getting ready to, like I said, I'm getting ready to launch my new course, the 997 course.
Yeah.
And which is going to be easier, like done for you, or not done for you, like kind of done with you program. And opposed to ebooks, is going to be more video, so people can like listen on the road and all that, things like that. And like I said, I'm giving them the top 4 products. I'm just making it so much easier for them. But instead of like, so this was the thing, like, instead of like a lot of gurus like sell you a course, right, and just say, oh, go ahead and just sell this product, right, if they're teaching you e-commerce. But I'm like, I'm not going to sell a course without teaching them how to sell first, right? So now the first part of this course is actually the marketing part. So you can build out whatever type of business that you want to, opposed to having to just be stuck on just like these 4 products, right?
These are like essential business skills.
These are essential business skills to build up your Instagram page so that you can insert any product into the knowledge that you have, right?
Yeah.
So build the presence first, because people don't buy products, they buy experiences, right? So if you create the experience, then the product is just, let's go come. You know what I mean? They're going to buy something from you. Yeah.
Cool, man. Well, we're just about running out of time.
Yeah.
What are the messages you want to put out there to the people?
Man, I'm no different than anybody, bro. Like, I'm a regular person. I've been a regular person. I'm going to continue to be a regular person. I just did something that most people don't do. Like, man, if anything you want to do, you got to start it, man. You know, if you feeling that passion inside of you that's just burning and it will not go away, like, that's the universe or God, like whoever you serve, you know what I mean? I serve God personally, but whatever you're listening to, whatever your higher power is, you feel that on the inside. I feel like you should just go after and do it, because time is going to pass anyway, right? Next year going to be next year, whether you make a move or not. So why not just get that thing started and just see what happens, you know? Yeah.
Amazing.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. Well, how can people get a hold of you?
Man, follow me on Instagram at Mike_Kimbrough_, and just check my story out, man, and just see where I came from and understand that, you know, I made it, and man, so can everybody else if they put their mind to it.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
From a $20 course.
From a $20 course.
Love it. Love it.
Appreciate it.
Thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate you. You've been watching the A-Lister Show. Take a moment to subscribe, click like, send some love to Mike, follow him on Instagram, check out his websites, whatever he's got to order. You know it's going to be legit. Yeah, it's been a great episode. Thank you so much for watching with us, and we'll see you on the next one.
All right.
We out.
Yes, sir.